guys, welcome back. It's Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy. This week we're going to talk about the Mustang Mach-E over my shoulder here. We have officially owned it for 5 full months, put 2,000 miles on it, and I kind of want to talk to you about the charging setup. So I'm going to start right with that. When we bought the car, it came with the plug that you see right here. Now, what it did do is provide us with a power box that plugs into the wall, which then feeds the car. It has 2 connector ends that are interchangeable. One is designed for the 110 outlet that plugs into your regular outlet. The other is a 240, which needs to be professionally wired. Now, my garage wasn't pre-wired for a 240, and I didn't really want to run an extension cord from my laundry room. So the first 4 months or so we had this car, I was just plugging it into the regular wall. The problem with that is charge time is slow. So what does that mean? They would tell us that a 0 to 100% charge could take up to 72 hours, meaning you're getting less than 2% an hour, somewhere between 1.5, you know what I mean? It's not good. So basically on a night charge, we would charge it for 8 or 10 hours. If the car was down more than 90%, it wouldn't be fully charged in the morning, which, you know what I mean? That's not great. We also drove it in the winter and the range was much shorter. When we were at 100% on the charge, the range calculator would tell us we could go 205 to 210, something like that. Whereas when we bought it, Ford said, oh yeah, no, this is the extended range. You can go 290, 300, something like that. So we were a little bit confused, a little bit concerned, but the car has a warranty. We bought, all the bells and whistles and everything. And so we weren't too worried about it. We knew that if something wasn't right, Ford would fix it. So the long and short of it is that's how we lived our lives for the first 5 months or so, 4 months, I guess it would have been. And then about a month ago, I had an electrician come and put in my 240, and now I run the wire and it's 240. And now it charges incredibly fast. I mean, we drove the car yesterday. We drove it all around and it got down to 60%. Plugged it in. By this morning, it was 100 and it was done charging to 100. I think it set at 4 a.m. So it charges much faster, much better. So that's that. Tomorrow, we are actually going on a road trip. We're going to take the car to the coast, which is about a 4-hour drive. In miles, it's probably 200-ish miles. My thoughts there are we should be able to make it all the way in one tank, but we have to go up and over a mountain range and then down the other side. So depending on how much electricity it takes to get to the top, that's going to be my gauge as to when we have to stop to fill up, top off power. So there are a number of stations along the way where we can plug in. Some are free, some are not. We may just try to time it so that we stop for lunch and fill up. That might be the way to go. Not sure, but now if we dive into the review side of the car, okay. Now, as you can see, it's dirty. We're driving it. We've got 2,000 miles on it. Our commutes are not long. I work about 1.5 miles one direction. My wife works about 2 miles the other direction. And this is her daily. So she's driving it 2 miles home, or 2 miles to work and then 2 miles home. It has somewhat become our family car just for running around, going out to dinner, going to the grocery store, whatever it is. It's kind of a runaround car, especially with gas in our area being almost $6 a gallon. My truck has a 36-gallon tank. 36 gallons times $6 a gallon is over $200. So yeah, it's expensive to drive my truck. So this has become more of a runaround vehicle, which is great. It's a gas saver. Clearly it's saving us some money. I was talking to a client of mine this morning and he was telling me he has a Chevy Volt, and he was telling me he drove from here up to Portland for the weekend. Portland's about 2.5 or 3 hours away, depending on where you go. Now he went up to Portland, drove all around Portland, did a bunch of errands, went and saw some people, got in the car and drove home, all on $12 of electricity. So the equivalent there, that would have taken a whole tank in my truck. Like that would have been a $200 trip in my truck. And it cost him $12, which again, locally, that's the equivalent of 2 tanks or 2 gallons of gas. And if you're getting 20 miles a gallon, that's like not a lot of driving, right? That's just not a lot of driving. So his little economical car, he was able to drive to Portland, around Portland and back on $12 of electricity. It's pretty crazy how, for the first time ever, really electric cars are able to save someone money. Some cars still have tax incentives. Some cars, I mean, are being sold at a premium, so which offsets some of that. But you know what? I mean, for a car that like this that is electric, doesn't have any maintenance costs, doesn't have any of those things other than brake pads and tires. You know, I mean, if I can drive it for $20 a month or whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's not a lot of money. The first 2 months we owned the car, our electric bill was actually lower than it was the year prior, which just means it wasn't as cold at night. I mean, right, it's just power. But the car was drawing so little, so little that we didn't even see a power increase. By the third month, I think our power bill was up $15. So I'm guessing that we probably run $20 a month in electric bill because of this car, or maybe $1 a day or something like that. But far less than what we were paying for my wife's gas in her BMW. That thing only got about 14 miles a gallon on a good day. If we were driving straight down the highway, she could get closer to 20, but around town, that thing was just thirsty all the time. Twin turbo, fast car, but not economical at all. And so it was very expensive. We'd fill up 2 or 3 times a month. Not a big tank, so I mean, that's part of it, but you know, I'm guessing we would go through a couple of gallons or a gallon of fuel a day or more. And that's just on our short commutes. So I think from a savings standpoint, this thing has actually done us a really good job. Now, as far as comfort and adequate space and all those things, it's working out really, really nicely. It does have a little bit more cargo space. Our kids have more room in the back seat than they did in that BMW. And that was a big sell for my wife because, you know, I mean, we've got growing kids. One's a teenager, one's almost there, and their friends and all the things and backpacks and overnight bags and whatever else they're coming and going with. That BMW was fairly tiny, and it did have a pretty large trunk, but this thing being more of a hatchback, you can stack stuff higher. You don't need a super deep trunk like we had in that BMW. This thing also has a frunk, which I don't have my key in my pocket, so I can't pop it. But I mean, it's got plenty of space in there too, and I don't think we've ever once used it. Ever once. I don't know that I've even popped the hood more than one time just to look. So we forget about that thing. We probably should utilize that a little bit more too. It is storage space that goes unused. So there's that. But we find that the seats are extremely comfortable. Again, we haven't taken it on a long road trip. Tomorrow is the day. Our goal is to, again, later in the summer, drive it from here, we live in Central Oregon, down to Sonoma, California, do some wine tasting and do those kind of things. But down at the Sonoma Raceway, I have an appointment to drive a Ferrari on the track. And it's called Extreme Experience. I'm really looking forward to it, but that's not till the end of August. And so my thoughts there would be, we're going to take this car down there. We'll see. I mean, we plotted it out on the GPS. It shows you where all the points of interest are for fuel and eating and shopping and all those things. And so we're going to try to coincide our stops with meal times. So, you know, the car can rapid charge while we're eating lunch or whatever it is. And we're anticipating that normally an 8-hour trip, it's probably going to take us closer to 9.5. But we're going to build that in. We're going to plan for that and act accordingly. But yeah, comfort-wise, the thing is extremely comfortable. The seats are nice. You know, all the amenities. It's got a heated steering wheels, heated seats, you know, heated glass, you know, all the things. All the touch screen, the navigation, everything works beautifully. It's got Apple CarPlay. So, I mean, we can talk on the phone through the car. We can text and do all those things, just voice activated everything. We can listen to Pandora or Spotify through the car. And we haven't activated it. It did come with a satellite radio sample demo thing for 90 days or something like that we'll probably do this summer. Same with Wi-Fi. The thing has Wi-Fi and it costs, it's a monthly subscription, but I believe it came with, again, 3 months or 6 months of free trial time that we have not yet activated. So we'll probably do that before too long so that these road trips can allow us an opportunity. The kids can connect their Nintendos and whatever else and play games through the Wi-Fi. And so that should be cool. That's a feature that we've never had. The solid glass roof is living up to its reputation. Those things are cool. The panoramic roofs. Now it doesn't open. It's not a sunroof like that, but it is solid glass. And when it's raining, it's going to be raining over on the coast while we're there. And when you're underneath that glass in the rain, it is a sight to see. It's really beautiful. Just the water on the window and the glass and all that stuff. It's really, really cool. You know, all the features, just everything works well. I should probably knock on wood, but nothing is broken yet. I haven't seen anything give us an issue. Nothing has, we've seen no warning lights. We've seen, you know, none of that stuff. Everything seems to be functioning as it should. And I gotta be honest, I didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. The idea of an electric car was totally foreign to me. All three of my cars are V8s. And at the time I had the Challenger, which was a 6, and even my wife's BMW we had at the time was a 6, but a twin turbo. So everything we've had has been a hungry, thirsty engine that you've got to put fuel in regularly and all that. So this was totally a new arena for me, and so far so good. The performance is there. The instant torque, the acceleration is literally faster than anything I've ever driven. You know, and that would include the R8 that's right below the camera here. You know, it's a fun, fast car, but this thing is a different level of fast. You know, it's weird because you accelerate in silence. Literally, there's no exhaust notes, there's no anything. It is just dead silent. You hear the tires on the road. So yeah, it's kind of fun, but it's kind of different, and it's still taking some time to get used to. The whole charging aspect, again, I mean, we can forget to charge it for the night and it's okay because our commutes are short. But, you know, if we were to go on a trip and we didn't pre-plan and figure out where to stop for fuel, I see how an electric car could cause problems. You know, you really have to plan your trip around stopping for power. And that's going to take some getting used to. You know, it might mean going out of your way. It might mean going to a different town, or it might mean, you know, leaving an extra bit early or getting there later than you anticipate or whatever, right? You have to modify and kind of go with the flow, and we're going to figure that out. We're excited. I think I'm excited. I'm excited to learn more about it and figure it out. And, you know, the other thing is too, I've yet to use a public charger. So tomorrow when we're heading over, we're going to have to figure that out. We have a local grocery store here in town that does have a rapid charger and a regular charger there in the parking lot. And both times I've tried to use it, it's been offline. So it's not worked. So that's an issue. Now, it doesn't even show up in the car's catalog of electric gas stations. I don't know, electric stations, I guess is what they call them. So they don't even show up. I suppose that might be part of it. I don't think it's that they're incompatible because it plugs right in. I've taken the plug off the machine and plugged it into the side of the car, and everything connects and works like it should. But when I go back to the machine to hit go or surge or jolt or whatever they call the power coming out, it doesn't work. So it's just figuring it out. We'll figure it out. So I do plan to do another episode moving forward on my experience. What is it like to take this thing on a road trip? Like I said, I have yet to find out. I'm excited to learn. It's got all the bells and whistles we want. It's got plenty of luggage space. It's comfortable to ride in. So it's got all the pieces to make a perfect travel car. It's just figuring out where to stop, when, and how often. So I'll keep you posted. But like always, like, subscribe, pay attention. I'm going to do more updates and things on the other cars. Hopefully the Fastback is coming back a Fastback. It is still a convertible. And last I talked to Jeff, he was trying to get the fitment perfect on that top before he lays down the paint. So hopefully that's going to be coming back here before too long. And we'll do several walk around videos of it and kind of give you updates there. But more to come. More to come on the Mach-E, more to come on the R8, and more to come on the Mustang. The truck's kind of on hold. It's just the daily right now. I'm not doing anything to it. So if you're looking for more content on the Raptor, let me know, because there's things I can do. But for now, not so much. It's not on the radar. I've got other things going on. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. And as always, may every investment you make be a good one. Till next time.